We pulling?
Hey, I'm Zax, and here's our guide to Broodtwister Ovi'nax, the 5th boss in Nerub-ar Palace. This guide is brought to you by Wowhead and their brand new raid cheat sheets, which we'll tell you more about right after the boss. Also, big thank you to our supporters on Patreon. Hope you'll enjoy all the Patreon exclusive content we've got coming out this tier, like extended heroic guides and more. Alright, so Broodtwister is this big ugly slug. She only has one phase, there's a ton of cleave and AoE in the fight, and you'll want a bloodlust on pull. The first thing to note with this boss is that there are all these eggs in her room, in 3 different sections that each have one of these big containers in them. Shortly after pulling, and every time the boss gets to full energy, the boss runs over to the closest container to her and breaks it open, spawning this pool on the ground that slowly grows over time. And the goal of the fight is to break all the eggs around that container before the pool reaches them and explodes them, putting a huge dot on the raid. The only way to break the eggs is with these little purple circles that sometimes go on random players, which break any eggs within the circles when they expire. So everyone has to be ready to break an egg if they get the purple circle, and you should prioritize breaking eggs closer to the container first, because the pool gets to them pretty quick. Breaking an egg also spawns one of 3 adds based on what kind of egg it is. The big round eggs spawn a spider that needs to be tanked, because it has a big magic damage cast that also gives them a stack of a damage increase. The skinnier eggs spawn a caster worm that has to be interrupted every once in a while to prevent some raid-wide damage. And the little egg clusters spawn a bunch of parasites that have to be CC'd and killed from range before they reach their fixate target, put a huge dot on them, and then duplicate themselves. These things are super similar to the parasites from Magmaw in Cataclysm. Each of the 3 sections in the room has more of one kind of egg than the others. So this one has more big eggs, this one more skinny eggs, and this one more egg clusters. It doesn't really matter which order you do the sections in, but we recommend starting in the big egg section because the tank spiders are easier to deal with, and then go to the skinny egg section and then the egg cluster section last, because dealing with 2 packs of parasites at once can get a little sketchy. Everyone's going to need to help with CCs and knocks and slows and all that in this last section especially. For heroic, here's a little map we cooked up for the order we recommend breaking the eggs in. There's a bunch of different ways to go about it, but this worked great for us in testing. We'll put a link to this picture in the description if you want it. All of that is the main challenge of the fight, but there are a couple other mechanics to mention. The tanks have a taunt swap mechanic to deal with. When the boss casts Volatile Concoction, it does magic damage to the tank and puts a big dot on them for a few seconds. And then when the dot expires, it explodes on the raid, doing more damage the lower the tank was when the dot expired. So the tanks need a taunt swap after this cast, the tank with the dot needs to use a defensive that lasts through the end of the dot, and the healers need to blast the tank with heals to make sure they aren't low when the dot expires. There's also these waves of swirlies on the ground for everyone to dodge throughout the fight, and on heroic, when random players get a permanent dot debuff that puts a gray circle around them, they need to spread out away from other players and then get dispelled, because the debuff explodes on anyone in that circle when it's dispelled, also rooting them for a while. And that's pretty much it. For our recaps this tier, we're excited to introduce the new Wowhead cheat sheets, a quick and easy way to get all of the key info for every boss in Nerub-ar Palace, including concise strategies, key assignments, and any pro tips you might need. So check out the cheat sheet link in the description. Thanks again to our supporters on Patreon. We've got a ton of Patreon exclusive content coming this tier, like extended heroic guides, mythic guides, and a bunch more. So check out that link below. See you next time.